Hi, this is Fee Taylor. Thanks for joining us again this week on the Toddlers to Teens TV show. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about fruit, veggies and sugar. I had some great feedback about the last session that we did on portion sizes for kids, so thank you for that feedback, and I hope you'll find this information just as important and useful to you at home. At Leaps and Bounds Children's Fitness Centre, we introduced a shared morning tea for toddlers, mainly the kids in the 18-month to 3-year age group in the Mummy, Daddy and Me class. We did this because we found that there are a lot of children this age not eating any fruit or vegetables, or not being exposed perhaps to as many as we'd like to see our children consume. At Leaps and Bounds Children's Fitness Centre, we introduced a shared morning tea policy for our class for the Mummy, Daddy and Me. That's our 18-month to 3-year-old children. We found that by sharing a morning tea of fruit and chopped up vegetables, children were more interested, and in watching each other share and eat the fruit, became very interested in sharing and eating the fruit and vegetables. It was quite amazing to me to find that so many kids just aren't eating fruit and or vegetables at home, and so by helping to introduce this into the class, helping mums and dads at home to encourage their little ones to eat fruit and veg. Persistence is the key, and as a parent myself, I can absolutely understand how putting something out for your child, them not eating it, trying again the next day, can become quite frustrating, both for you and the little one. But please persist and try different colours, try different shapes, try different textures, mash them, chop them, finely grate them. Just try different things to try and get those fruits and vegetables into your child's body. They are so important, full of essential vitamins, nutrients and minerals, and we need those for the growing bodies of our babies. So it's persistence. We're all familiar with the 2 and 5 campaign, the 2 fruit, 5 veggies every day. Now this is actually aimed at adults and teenagers. So what is the right amount for a child? I'm going to be talking about children aged from 4 because that's really the most important time to be really getting those nutrients into their bodies. Earlier you're going to be using different fruits and veggies, and they are all very important. But by the time they get to 4, they should definitely be trying to consume the 2 different serves of fruit and roughly about a cup of raw vegetables or 2 cups of cooked vegetables, and that is a serving. Okay, a serve of fruit equates to about 50 calories, and when you serve a piece of fruit or do their fruit serve for the day, it should actually look like a piece of fruit. Mango strips, banana chips, glacé cherries, fruit cordial, dried sugared fruit, fruit straps are not fruit and should not count as a fruit serve for your child. A fruit serve would be a small banana, a small apple, 2/3 of a cup of blueberries, 2 fresh dates, 2/3 of a cup of grapes, half a medium pear, nearly 2 cups of strawberries, or 2 dried apple rings. So you can see the difference. The reason dried fruit should be consumed in smaller doses is because during the drying process, the water is extracted from the fruit, leaving a very high sugar content. So offering small serves is fine. It's great for lunchboxes because they're not getting squashed and squished in the lunchbox, but please don't put in a whole heap of ringed apples in comparison to putting in an actual apple, because you can't compare them at all. Let's talk about veggies. A lot of kids don't like cooked vegetables. They find them mushy, or the taste changes, which it often does during the cooking process. Whether you're stir-frying or steaming, baking, or whatever you're doing with them, the texture does change. So you need to play around a little bit. But why not try a cup of raw veggies? Go for things like broccoli tops, beans, chopped with the ends chopped off, zucchini strips are great, favourable with children, grated carrot, cherry tomatoes, the list goes on. Throw a whole heap of raw veggies onto a plate and see how you go with that. Another great way to get kids to eat it is make a base out of it. Use a couple of cherry tomatoes for the eyes, just like the 2 and 5 guy from the campaign. Really try to keep veggies interesting. And I've got a picture of the 2 and 5 guy, and I'm sure you can see that. But we've got all sorts of vegetables thrown in here just to make it interesting. And of course this really works with kids. Let's eat the eyes, let's eat the ears. It does sound like fun, and kids really get an enjoyment out of it. So just with this 2 and 5 guy, we've got carrots, we've got snow peas, beans, corn, tomatoes. There's actually onion rings here, there's a little bit of beetroot, some celery, lettuce hair, mushrooms for his ears. So there's just a couple of ideas of trying to get your kids to eat the vegetables. Really try and disguise your veggies too. Put them in meatballs or rissoles. You can use your grated carrot or beetroot or celery. Put them into your rissole mixture. You could put them in your pasta sauces, or maybe even put them in rice paper rolls. Kids love playing with the rice paper rolls and wrapping their own. And even those pocket breads are fantastic, especially with alfalfa sprouts and grated up carrot inside. Adding a little bit of flavour is fine. Don't need to go overboard, but maybe a teaspoon of hummus, or maybe some lemon juice or lime juice drizzled over. A little tiny bit of dressing doesn't go astray. It does give texture and flavour to the dish without taking too much away. Try and go for the organic, natural products though, where possible. One final word on keeping veggies in the house and keeping them interesting is that your children are going to be watching you and their older siblings. So if the older siblings are struggling with their vegetables, then they're going to think that's okay too. And please make sure you're eating your vegetables, and make sure you tell them how much you love your veggies and how much you're growing because of you having your veggies. If it doesn't work, if for some reason they'll try something and they don't like it, just tell them that you're proud of them for giving it a go rather than showing frustration. And I know that can be hard, but it really is a big key to success. So let's talk about sugar. Sugar, or occasional or sometimes foods. These are a real bugbear with me at the moment. And one thing that I find really, really useful as a mum is when I go grocery shopping, I have my phone with me, and I have an iPhone, and I have this app on the iPhone called the Chemical Maze. Now if you don't have an iPhone, you can pick up this book, you can borrow it from the library, the Chemical Maze. You can go to chemicalmaze.com.au and have a look at the website. The Chemical Maze basically takes out all the ingredients with the numbers on it. So when you pick up a packet of something and it's got the general ingredients, and then it starts telling you what numbers are in that food. Those numbers are referred to in the Chemical Maze, and by reading the Chemical Maze or checking out those numbers in the Chemical Maze, you can find out what effects that chemical will have on your body or on your children's body. Things like hyperactivity may cause nausea, may cause overtiredness. It's all in this Chemical Maze. So please really have a look at that, because it's a fantastic resource, and it was developed here in Australia, which is even better. Convenient sized snack foods, really, if you have a look at it, they take up about 3 aisles in the grocery shop, which is really disappointing. And to get back to basics and have fruit or dried fruit as a treat rather than the chocolates and the chips and the lollies is where we've really got to aim for. If you don't have them in your pantry, you won't be tempted to eat them, and you won't be tempted to give them to your children. So think twice before you actually put them in the trolley, and don't give in to the kids. I know it can be hard. Grocery shopping can be really difficult and trying at times. Another great way to get around this, if it's really a problem for you, is things like Coles online, because you're not tempted. The kids aren't there seeing what you're getting, and I use that a lot. Another way of avoiding the impulse buying and the kids nagging at the grocery shop and throwing all sorts of things in the trolley is by shopping online. I'm a big fan of this. Not only does it save me hours of time, but you don't have to have any of the carryings on in the supermarket as well, which causes us a lot of stress. Coles online is fantastic. You can pick and choose what it is that you want, save your shopping list, and it's there again the next week for those staple things that you tend to order week to week. But it takes that impulse buying out. There is no chocolate bars at the checkout. There aren't any chips on special, soft drinks on special that you are visually seeing. Of course they're there on special, they're online, but you don't have to look at them, you don't have to see them, and really wait and see how much money you can save by actually using the Coles online. They deliver it to you, and the cost is quite minimal. If you compare the impulse buying to the delivery cost, you'll really see that you can save money. So in conclusion, please go and have a look at the Chemical Maze website. If you've got an iPhone, download the app because it's a great resource to have. It has the happy and smiley faces for things that are okay, and the sad faces and double sad faces for things with the additives that we really, really do not want in our bodies. Thank you very much for tuning in this week, and I look forward to sharing some more tips with you in the coming weeks. Have a great week.